The views expressed in the following program do not necessarily represent the views of this station or its management.
Real People, Real Life is brought to you by these fine sponsors.
Welcome back. Happy New Year. Okay, our first show of the year.
Happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
And we're real people, we're real life, and we're back. So
We're back.
We've got a lot to get in this show.
He's front, actually.
Do what?
He's front, actually. We're back.
I'm back. He's front.
Okay. Right.
Not bad, whatever.
Did everybody have a nice Christmas?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice and quiet.
Okay, yeah.
Nice and quiet.
Nice
I'm
and
still
quiet.
alive.
I tried to make beer.
Oh my God.
I got a beer making kit.
Yeah.
I won't talk about
Should have
that.
got to
Takes a
Joey.
while.
I
Joey's
tried
become
to.
a real brewmaster.
Bring it on.
I know.
Look,
There's
I
the-
seriously almost was like, I know somebody who can fix this. But I went
Joey
ahead.
knows how to fix all
Yeah, I
that.
still have a whole bunch more of the herbs and whatever that
Barley.
stuff. Barley, hop, what all the stuff to make the beer, the packages. That stuff.
Herbs and birds.
Sounds like
Yeah.
Monster got herbs
Okay.
for Christmas.
No, I wish.
Oh,
No.
Wow, we were still doing donations for area veterans, kids, and
Oh, yeah.
families right up through Christmas Eve.
How'd that go?
It did very, very well. Did very, very well. We had a lot of happy kids, and parents that certainly didn't have to feel the strain.
We gotta label your beer.
Oh, I don't even want to go there. God, you guys.
Tell me, Joe, what labeling came to mind?
I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I just have a
Hey, I was
feeling.
thinking about maybe we could bat this around. Some people have challenged my homemade gravy. I don't know if we all brought some on last segment, some show. We could have a cook-off. You guys could be the guinea pigs.
Well,
If there's lots of food, I'm up for it.
Yeah.
Yes,
because
I
if
make
there's
the
food
best
involved, these
gravy.
guys will
I'm
go
just
with it.
saying.
You gotta
I
make beer
can't
so you
cook
can wash it
anything
down.
else.
Okay, we got to
beer.
get back to some serious,
Yeah.
serious,
Serious
serious
stuff,
stuff.
okay.
Okay, yes.
Oh,
And
Seriously.
in addition to Foss's awesome
Beer.
beer,
Yeah.
or lack thereof beer, but mostly on the gravy side. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
My serious face.
Yeah, get that serious face.
You can make gravy with beer. Oh, yeah.
Okay, that'd be new. Anyway, one of the last things that we were talking about before we took our couple of week break was our local VA.
Yeah, what happened with
And
that story?
I'm still sitting on this, quite frankly.
Okay.
We did let, I think you and I did let about three, two that are not currently in office. Okay, and then a third person that is currently in office, but will not be for much longer. But I wanted other people to know that what we had our hands on. So we do have three people that I trust completely to know that we're working on this story.
We have vetted it. I mean,
And we have vetted this story. So
You
I
vetted
mean,
the vet story?
we vetted the
Vetted the
we
vet.
vetted the vet
After-
story. So
vetted.
it was
Lions and tigers and
it
cats
really-
and dogs.
And beds on my.
it was kind of hard, because like I said, we were doing so much work for veteran families and
Yeah.
veterans with post-traumatic stress disorder, all through the holidays, and then for me to meet, with a friend of mine that is involved with the VA, and find out that we've still got a whole rack of messes going on here. We still don't have any mental health at our Topeka location. Part of the construction.
No mental
is
health
none
provided
available.
for the entire.
None in our Topeka VA. There's a couple of I'm not gonna turn everything over. I've got official emails that nobody's eyes will get to see these. And anyway, some of the issues that we're dealing with is understanding the word directive. Okay, and I think with anybody that has a military background, we need to understand the directive, and is it wanted or is it unwanted? A scheduling directive, is that a national directive, a VISN directive, which is a veteran choice list, okay, or is this a local scheduling directive? Of course, we need to understand the veteran choice list, scheduling directive, and then faxing of records, which this was very disturbing to me to find out that Tri-West, Midwest Insurance, okay, when you go to the VA, they are already faxing your information to outside insurance companies. You need to make sure that there is a place where you can say, you have to give a release form, and you have to sign that release form. If you don't, then they are already giving your information out. Okay, so I want veterans to understand that they don't need to do that. You don't have to just automatically give that out. From what I've been told, and we're not done with this story yet. I mean, we've got a lot more work to do on this, but what I've gathered so far, and we've got second and third opinions on it, but I'm going to keep going deeper and deeper. But our local VA is supposed to bring in $15 million in private insurance. And being at VA, what did you have to say about that a moment ago?
Well, we shouldn't have private insurance involved with our veterans. That's an obligation the country takes on when they join the service.
Not anymore.
I agree. Now, how did that happen? Now, what did that change?
Well, currently, people in the military are buying insurance because they no longer have the free medical that they had before. It's gotten bad.
Is that reserves, or that's just active duty? Or?
I got an active duty son-in-law.
You're kidding
and they're
me.
buying insurance now. That's insane. That's where we're at today. Now, I don't have all the exact details. This could be family supplements. I don't know. But when I was in, my family was covered because I was in.
Sure.
So things have definitely changed from when I was in service.
It's a whole different world right now, and not just.
And I don't see
What's the
any
Geneva
changes
Convention?
until
I mean, isn't that
the Geneva
my
Convention?
sister used to throw it out there all
Geneva
the time.
Convention has nothing to do with VA benefits. What the Geneva Convention governs is rules of war,
Right.
rules
Okay.
of engagement.
You got to provide them health insurance.
But the reality is, I don't see any changes in this until July of 2017.
I have to agree. We're still locally looking at. It will be reported that a joint replacement at this particular VA here takes about 28 days, was what they're reporting. It's actually 157 days
Oh my
for a
gosh.
total
What?
joint replacement. If you're looking at cataracts, it will be reported that you're looking at a 21-day. It's actually 210 days. So.
Wow.
As we continue to dive into this, and believe me, we're not even done. By the time I continue to get a few more political folks involved and some other investigative reporters involved, we'll definitely get back on that. But that kind of ties in with some things that were, brought to my attention. Just even again today, the funny thing to me about Christmas and New Year's every year is media a lot of times is almost shut down and non-existent. Which means my office phone is very, very quiet. Okay, because I don't have like 100 radio and TV salespeople calling me, wanting to see if my clients want to buy this or want to buy this last minute special offer kind of deal. So it's always really quiet, and this was far from the case this year because we were so involved in so many important issues. But this one did come up, and this is something I think that we all need to be paying attention to. Veterans courts are now closer in Kansas, and this was from 1/1 of 2015. In fact, this was from just a couple of days ago. 15 military veterans who broke the law in civilian life applauded and first bumped I can't even read anymore bumped one another last month as they stepped one by one to the bench of a Kansas City municipal judge. What's going on, and I'll try to make this as short as I can, about 80 veterans on the Missouri side of the Kansas City metro area are enrolled in a months-long treatment. Instead of sitting behind bars for having convictions on their records, what they're going to do is work with them and see about getting them the different help that they may need, being that they're a post-traumatic stress disorder sufferer and or that had concussions. Now, this program started in 2008. If you want to go back to see, this is just kind of picking up throughout the United States, but if you want to go back, it was in New York, I believe. Yes, Buffalo, New York launched the first treatment court 6 years ago, and let's see, Tate, Major General Clyde Tate, a former Kansan and senior fellow with the advisory group Justice for Vets, states some people carry this misperception and ask, why should we give these criminals a break just because they're veterans? Said Tate, the goal here is to treat those veterans who have diagnosed conditions that are at the root of their behavior. Because veterans courts are relatively new, their success rates nationwide are hard to measure, but in Buffalo, New York, where it was first launched 6 years ago, Tate has said that 9 out of every 10 graduates have not had to come back.
Wow, that is success.
So I think that's
Speaks
something
for
that,
itself.
I think that's something that we should look at here, and I understand that they're going to look at it possibly on the Kansas side.
Of course, there's always going to be somebody that cries about it.
Well,
Now, I've got a piece of advice for all the veterans out there watching this that they would help the VA tremendously. I am listed as a disabled veteran because of a service-related back injury. I do not draw benefits. I do not waste their time nor their money because the reality is self-diagnosis tells me I am not disabled. If I'm lifting pool tables, how damaged am I? So take an honest look at yourself before you go get into that program and ask yourself, is this a real need or an imagined one? Because just because the services are available to you does not mean you have to use them, and we have veterans out there that desperately need that.
Oh, we do.
And if I'm not one of them, why would I take that time and resource away from somebody that really needs it? So please be honest with yourself so you can be honest with everybody else. That's going to help the VA a lot.
A lot, yeah. Part of these, I think part of the problems with the scheduling and a lot of this is, it's just like with anything. You're going to have people that will take advantage of it.
Any opportunity, any
everything,
resource.
everything. There's going to be people that will take advantage of it for the wrong reasons, and then the people that deserve it
are going to have a hard time to be able to utilize it.
Exactly. I mean, we have this with a lot of different things going on, but as the veterans courts come closer to a reality here in Kansas, I'm really looking forward to see how that plays out. It's these are things that all through the Christmas season and New Year's. I mean, I was asleep New Year's Eve at 8:30, so I hope everybody had a good time.
I mean, it's midnight.
As
I
we
went to sleep early.
continue to work on these veterans and situations, the other one is training officers about issues facing combat veterans. And I really don't have time to get much into this, but this will be something that we'll be discussing again next week.
Good.
It's a huge topic.
This was,
Absolutely.
God, this one's dated. I just want to say this is like in November 10th of 2014. So it's fairly new, and again, it goes into the post-traumatic stress disorder, the traumatic brain injuries, suicide preventions, and basically what I want to get into on this next group go around, we'll come back with more from the VA veterans opportunities as far as medical services and things that we can help with that. But the other thing that this gets into is a first responder and law enforcement community about the unique needs of returning combat veterans. Okay, so I'm already working on this as I promised I would be.
Yeah.
Before the break, and we've got some folks that'll be coming forward to talk to us about that. But anyway,
Looking forward to that.
we've got a lot to do. But our guest is going to be joining us in a little bit. It's going to be Ben and Angie, and we'll tell you more about them in just a little bit. Real people, real life, Wichita, Kansas.
Real People, Real Life is brought to you by these fine sponsors.
Credit King Auto Sales is getting better all the time. We're doing it better. We're doing it better all the time.
The King, Credit King Auto Sales, the biggest buy here, pay here in Kansas. The King's Corner, 31st Street South and Broadway. The King knows you worked hard for your tax refund. The King will give you more for it. The King of buy here, pay here. The King of low down payments. Bad credit, no problem with the King. The King does it better than all the rest. GoCreditKing.com.
Knapp Weaponry is the home of Wichita's newest indoor temperature-controlled shooting range. Mention this ad for 2-for-1 pricing weekdays from noon to 4. Knapp Weaponry is an NRA Business Alliance member that offers NRA and state-certified instruction classes, training, and women's unarmed self-defense classes. We buy and sell new and used guns and offer gunsmith services. Knapp Weaponry offers a free range session with the purchase of a new gun. We also offer transfer services and an array of ammo. Knapp Weaponry, the West Side's best-kept secret.
Welcome back once again, Real People, Real Life, Wichita, Kansas. America.
America.
We're back.
Okay, I didn't give you
America.
guys a chance to say America last time. I'm sorry. And it's Abby that's going to be joining us in a little bit, not
Yeah.
Angie.
That's right.
Okay, and then I just got word up that we have another guest too.
Yes, Dr. Carla Lee.
Okay.
She'll be with us today talking about a project that we're doing together.
Yeah.
Word.
Right on.
Word up.
City
Word
101.
up. You know.
Okay. Well, right now we have a very good friend of mine. Okay,
Yeah.
Ben, you want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Start down here.
Yeah, I'm Joey Stone.
Don Landis.
Joe Boucher.
Princess Mufasa.
Yeah.
Robin. Ben.
Yes.
My friend. Okay. And go ahead and say your last name because I'm doing lovely with names today.
Okay, Salsetta.
Salsetta. See?
Salsetta.
You know, if I hasn't been thinking about that, you would have gotten an Abby instead of an Angie. Anyway, so you've been involved in local politics since 1996. You volunteer on numerous campaigns. I know one of the last ones that you worked on was with Todd T. Hart.
Yep.
Okay. And then in 2012, tell me about 2012.
2012, I ran for county commission in the 2nd district, which is the south central part of the county there against Commissioner Tim Norton.
Uh-huh.
And then served as a national delegate to the convention, too.
Yeah,
So
how'd
was a
that
lot of
go?
fun. That was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to be there. You
I
meet
would have
all sorts
loved
of
that.
people. Oh, you meet all sorts of people. Some of them you tend to like more, and some of them you tend to like less after you meet them.
Oh, I'm sure, right?
Most of them were actually more.
Yeah.
So my favorite was probably Marco Rubio.
Really?
Yeah, he was incredible. He actually stopped and took time, told his people to just wait a second, and so he could take a picture.
See, now that's
and stuff.
cool.
So-
That's
That's
very
awesome.
rare. That's
Yeah.
very rare.
Yeah. So-
Well, one of the reasons I was so excited to have you with us today is, as we all know, we've got some local elections coming up. One, of course, being city mayor, and the other one, of course, being city council. Okay, and why don't we start with, and you can just kind of run with it as you want.
What's the best plan to throw them all out and start over?
What's the scrap it button?
Yeah, there's no scrap it button there, and it's going to be interesting. We have 3 city council seats that will be up.
Okay.
2nd district, which is Pete Meissner, is going to be up for re-election. Looks like he's going to run again. And then Jeff Blueball, who is in the 4th district.
Yeah.
He'll be running for his first full term.
Okay.
Come here this coming election there. He replaced Michael O'Donnell after he
Right.
went on to the Senate.
Okay. Mhm.
And then Jeff Longwell is term limited, and so there looks like there's 3 people that have filed or ready to run for that seat.
For his
For
alone.
his alone. And then we have the mayor's race, which will be
Who's
Carl
running on
Berger's seat.
Jeff's?
There's Gary Bond, local businessman here, and then Brian Fry.
I
who's been
know
with-
Brian.
Yeah, he's been with Cake for a number of years there.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
definitely has a name ID.
Oh, I know, I know.
advantage going
Yeah,
out
I know.
here.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and then there's the 3rd gentleman.
I know.
I'm
yeah.
not very familiar with
Yeah.
him. So,
Okay.
it's going to be interesting. The money race is going to be interesting. Money plays a big part anytime you look at
Oh, I
elections.
know, I know.
Absolutely.
And I don't, people keep saying, well, let's just get money out of the politics. And I'm like, in this lifetime?
You can't take money out of politics. I mean, there's-
No.
for various reasons.
I know.
That is the conveyor of somebody's speech.
Yeah. Well, you look at this last election in 2014 with the Senate race being so hotly contested, the governor's race being so hotly contested. It did a lot to help out our local economy. So all the TV buys, all the radio buys.
Yeah,
spent.
the problem with that though really is a lot of people don't know this, but this took place in around 2012. The media buys that were placed on the local network TV and Cox Cable locally, and or some of the locally owned radio stations, that commission no longer was available to the salespeople. It was then become an in-house account. So the big corporations, like for instance Gray Television that owns Cake, or Sunflower Broadcasting that owns KWCH, they're the ones that made the big money. Okay, it was not the local salespeople, which was really sad. Okay, because what happened to them, okay, or like people like myself, what happened to us, okay, is our regular businesses that wanted to buy time, we couldn't. Because it was literally
Already
opponent
eaten up.
against opponent against opponent against opponent, and that Sunday before the general, I mean, they were still taking orders on Saturday and changing traffic on
You know what
Sunday.
we need to do? We're sitting in it right now. We've got a TV station here. You create the politics channel where it does nothing but political advertising.
Right?
And you lobby
Brilliant.
to have all of your politics put on that. So the rest of the commercial networks can carry just a regular commercial.
And there again, that's not going to work, because those people that just made a ton of money are not going to let go of it.
Yeah.
And
Well, one good thing came out of that election. This.
true. Yeah.
True story,
You know,
because we would still be radio based.
We
Yeah,
were kind of like
absolutely.
redheaded stepchildren and booted from one area and got popped into another.
I know. That's true. That's true.
That
Well,
happens a lot. So
I know, doesn't it?
Yeah,
That
it
was
does.
really rather fascinating how that happened. And being on the campaign trail sometimes with you over the summer, I was like, "Hey Ben,
Yeah.
hey Dawn, how you guys doing?" I mean, we always had fun, and I just love
politics
that.
can be a lot of fun if you make it fun.
Yeah.
But a lot of times people are in it for power, and when you get into it for power, not for
Whole
the
nother
purpose of serving,
story, man.
you get a mess of people, and you get people that will compromise their convictions pretty quickly.
Exactly.
When it comes to
Evidently,
it, so.
yeah.
Yeah, I think we saw that.
We don't know anybody like that.
No, we're
The
not
job
really.
of the city. Well, we're still talking about the city folks. What is the job of a city council member?
Well, city council member, there are part-time employees considered part-time, so they receive a part-time salary. You can decide whether you feel it's adequate enough or deserving of more. The mayor is a full-time position. They really are the figurehead for our city, so they are a representation of our citizens. We have the Sister Cities program, and then anytime they're lobbying for businesses to come locally, it's going to be the mayor and usually the vice mayor or DIP members there that serve. And so it is an important position to have. Now, the mayor, though, is not the president of a city or a governor of the city, does not have that power there. He has a vote when necessary on the council, but his position really is more figurative in a lot of ways. Not figurative, but it's a figurehead. Sorry.
Right.
And there is the power and the prestige that comes with the title, but a lot of the decisions, a lot of the policies you're going to see coming from city council members.
And I
there and
think
those within.
that's what we were talking about earlier. Is a lot of people don't seem to understand that. Okay, and I see it a lot where people will say, well, I'm running for this office, and then somebody will say, well, can you promise me that you'll do this if you get elected? Well, yes, I promise you I will. And of course,
And it doesn't
I'm sitting
necessarily
here
mean powers in our hands.
looking at this, going, wait a minute. You must not have paid attention in government class, okay? Because that's not how it works, right?
Well, there's no
You're the
one
in that
office that
commercial
will
with
ever.
the wall and the old lady in the pictures on the wall. You're the one. That's not how any of this works.
Be me. I'm over here going, wait.
What is the day-to-day job of somebody in city council, though? That's my question.
Well, like they're part-time employees, so most of them have other full-time jobs or other part-time jobs that keep their minds or their bodies busy.
It's less than 30,000, I think.
I think it's 35,000.
Oh, is it now?
Say,
Okay.
35,000.
So it is more of a minimum wage, or not a minimum wage, but a minimum hour, a minimum amount of time. More of a
Yes.
part-time job when you get into the city council. Mayor is definitely
Mayor is a
full-time.
full-time. I mean, they're busy consistently.
When you say 35 hours a week, is that
$35,000.
$35,000.
Okay, can I ask you a question though? Like, let's say you're city council. What do you do?
Well, you're going to be responsible. I mean, there's, for instance, each city councilman has what's considered district advisory boards. They meet usually once a month on a given night. They discuss different businesses, or different business of the city. Don, do you serve on one, or had you served on one?
No, not
Oh,
yet.
okay.
But we're going to be teaching about it.
Okay.
I'm dope.
I
wanna
served
learn
on
about
one
it.
for a couple years. They're interesting. You deal with a lot of local issues there. Pretty much everything.
Is that where
we
you
cover.
gather your information about what is a local issue? Is your citizens meet and then, or is it
It's
other
usually
city
more of
council?
a sounding board for citizens to be actively engaged, yes, because they can address the city councilman, they can address the district advisory board. We did a lot of zoning issues when I was on there.
That's
and
the start of rights
parks.
being trampled.
the beginning of it.
We got to
gotta
have
understand,
our
Joey.
firemen would come in, our police would come in, they'd give
Yeah.
reports of what's going on in the district,
Issues
what's going
they're
on in what
having.
areas, where are heightened areas of concern right now. And so it was very informative, very helpful there in that part. They also have the obligation of being a representative of the city. So, I mean, they're going to be actively looking in the best interest of their district and as well as the city.
Yeah.
And so there are a lot of things. They have their just their regular meetings that they'll go to as well, parks, recreation, all these different facets that are covered in the city. They're involved in and they're engaged in. And so it does require a lot of time. It does require a lot of effort. And probably, in my opinion, probably need a little bit more than that $35,000
I was
for
gonna
what they
say-
do.
That sounds
Yeah.
like a full-time job.
It really is in
It-
a lot of ways.
I
You
think
you look at our county commissioners who do a very similar job on the county side, and they are paid a full-time
They are
salary.
paid a full-time salary.
They're almost $90,000 now a year, plus when you get into all the
County
incentives.
representatives are?
County commissioner.
County commissioner.
Yes. So.
And the city, we've got a lot of issues around here, and we'll probably get to some of that. I don't know if we will or not, but tell me a little bit more. Okay, so we kind of have a general idea. what is the cost if somebody wants to run for a position in the county commissioners?
Well, in county commission, it's about 800. It's 1% of the salary. I want to say 1% of the salary. $800 some is what it comes down to.
To run?
To run.
Okay.
To file.
Or
To
to
file.
file.
To file.
That's all at the beginning.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's all you get is you get your name on the ballot with
Mm-hmm.
that. There's another option. One that I did when I ran in 2012 was to collect signatures.
Right.
To file by petition. There's no filing fee associated with that. But
How
you
many
have to-
signatures?
I had to get over 500 signatures of registered Republicans. Well, it
sounds
not,
easy.
Registered Republicans?
Well,
Well,
because
in
I'm a
that case,
Republican.
yeah.
Okay.
As a Republican, I had to get registered Republican signatures. They had to be registered to vote at the correct, at the
I
right
see where you
address,
say that
and
it's
they
not
had to
as
be
easy
within
as
the
it sounds.
district. Yeah, and I knocked doors for 4 months before I got
Pete.
enough. And you always want to get enough because some people, I might be registered, might not be registered. Could be a
Right.
Republican, could be an Independent, could be a Democrat.
Don't know.
You don't know. You can go off of their word, but you never know.
You never
and
know.
so we had like an 80-some% correct a right.
Yeah.
So we were well over. They stopped counting once we had the certified number. Got the phone
Perfect.
call, and that saves you money. It also gives you the opportunity to go out and meet individuals there. You can do that as well on city side, but it's who wants to go knocking in 12-degree weather right now?
Right,
It's
Who
a little
wants to
chilly
go
out there. Yeah, yeah.
on-
Even when
on
it's
that
hot.
side.
Heat wave.
Okay,
Yes.
now tell us a little bit more on if you want to run for mayor, what are we looking at as far as a cost? And again, the deadline is the same.
The deadline is January 27th for city offices.
Is that right?
Coming right
So
up.
they only have. I'm
A few
sorry.
more weeks.
It's coming right up.
Yeah, it's just around the corner here, and so we're really going to see that increase now. We've kind of got a nice little 2-month break from all the TV
Sorta.
ads.
Yeah.
Ish. Because
Sorta.
I seen one just the other day that was like, "Oh, we're gonna stay with the same thing as last years." Did you see that one?
I saw something on the other day, and well, and
how much
tomorrow,
does- So how much does it cost to file to run for mayor to get your name on that ballot?
the mayor, that one I do not know. So we
You're
can
probably
take
the
off.
same 1%.
Yeah, well, and each of them are different. You run for a state representative, it's like, I want to say it's like $35, something like that. I can't remember the
Oh,
exact
wow.
number. It's all varying.
It's
because
all,
there's state,
really.
You have state, you have county, you have city. They're all 3 different branches of government
Right.
there.
It's not like a rank structure either.
No.
They're all different.
Now, you
Yeah.
can go to the Central County Election Office webpage.
Yes, Central County
and
Election
all that
Office will give you all the information you need. It gives you the dates of when you can need to file by, and it gives you the dates of when you can register to vote by, when early voting begins, when it ends, where you can vote at, who's running, what district. Everything is taken care of there.
What are the criteria to run? Like to be the president, you have to have been a U.S. citizen. You have to be of age. What are the criteria to run for any of these offices you're speaking
Well,
of?
you're going to need to live within the city limits. That's going to be the biggest thing for running for mayor there. You have to be able to vote, which you have to be over 18 at that rate.
Registered,
There,
right?
registered. And you have to be a registered voter. And then whenever you're in a district, you have to live within your
Live
district
in that
boundaries.
district. And not just rent a chair there. I'm kidding.
Correct.
Well, that's
okay.
been an issue, too.
Wow.
But
You know,
not to
it's
mention
just,
names.
it's never a dull moment, and we're going to be right back in just a little bit. Real people, real life. We're going to have Ben with us with some more.
Real People, Real Life is brought to you by these fine sponsors.
Hi, I'm Samantha
And I'm Mike.
I'm Domingo.
with Economy Motors.
Tax time is right around the corner, and we're here ready to help you with your transportation needs. We offer a wide variety of quality vehicles priced $12,995 and under with easy approval and easy terms. Bad credit, no worries. Your job is your credit at Economy Motors, 2305 South Broadway, where we've got your back.
Economy Motors. 'Cause at Economy Motors, we got your back.
Knapp Weaponry is the home of Wichita's newest indoor temperature-controlled shooting range. Mention this ad for 2-for-1 pricing weekdays from noon to 4. Knapp Weaponry is an NRA Business Alliance member that offers NRA and state-certified instruction classes, training, and women's unarmed self-defense classes. We buy and sell new and used guns and offer gunsmith services. Knapp Weaponry offers a free range session with the purchase of a new gun. We also offer transfer services and an array of ammo. Knapp Weaponry, the West Side's best kept secret.